Yo, 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 what is up, everybody?
Hello. Welcome to an exciting podcast. I guess that's what we're calling it. We are switching the Hollow Court, which is our D&D 5e campaign, over to the Daggerheart system. We've been having such a blast playing Daggerheart in the Skyroot saga that we talked to our team and we asked, hey, do you guys want to try to see if we can convert our D&D campaign, the Hollow Cycle, into a Daggerheart campaign? And they were for it, so...
Because I don't know about other DMs out there, but I did find going back to playing D&D after Daggerheart to be kind of hard. So,
we're just enjoying it so much. It's such a fun system.
So we're switching it over. So, but those that are new here, I'm J-Mart, Saskia.
Hi.
Husband and wife content creators, mostly streaming TTRPGs and stuff these days, along with a bunch of guides and videos that you can find on our channel.
Yes.
Ready Player Roll, and you can like, comment, and subscribe to
Goes
help
a
us
long way to
out
help
a
us,
lot.
yes.
Also, we do a double feature.
So,
on Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we do the Skyroot Saga, which is our first Daggerheart campaign, which is one different feel, which is high fantasy, sky pirates, fun, good times, colorful, great. The second one,
the Hollow Cycle, is a dark fantasy that you can see every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's more of your hardcore survival, gritty, dark fantasy where every choice matters, every step you take is a dangerous one. So, very different feel from our high fantasy campaign.
And for those that are also new to this campaign, you can find the D&D ones down at the bottom. Also, there are some shorts that explain the things a bit, but to let you know, this was a very homebrewed campaign, along with I made 2 homebrew classes personally for it, one being an inventor and one being a gunslinger. So we get to see how we transition a lot of these classes.
How we can convert those two
over to Daggerheart.
And have that same feel. That was what's important to the team, is we want our characters to still feel like our characters from D&D. So we'll definitely explain how we made that happen.
Should be a lot of fun. The concept of this is Hollow Cycle is a dying world where gods have vanished, magic is fading, and the oppressive necromantic empire seeks to reshape the land in service of a silent, faceless god.
So its complexity rating 4, high complexity. The campaign blends gritty survival mechanics, faction intrigue, and custom content such as new classes, unique crafting systems, and homebrewed adversaries. Extensive world building and multiple parallel plot threads require GM preparation and improvisation.
So the unique crafting systems, those are still kind of being baked in. We had a whole entire crafting system, so we are working on getting that to be more towards Daggerheart. And new classes, I did make one homebrew class. I did bring over a gunslinger. We have one gun, I guess technically we had 2, but we were able to convert one of those. We'll explain later. But the other one, I did make one. If I find it worth posting, I'll make a video on that too. But yeah.
The pitch, 7 years ago, the gods went silent. The Hollow Court rose from the ashes, claiming to offer stability through necromancy, propaganda, and the will of their hidden hollow god, Noctivar. The world rots under their shadow and hope is fading fast. You're among the few who still resist, clinging to dangerous truths and fragile alliances. Escorting Lysa, a mute girl with a secret divine spark, across a world where trust is scarce, may be the last chance to reignite the light, or see it snuffed out forever.
The tone and feel of this is a gritty survival, dangerous content, and resources matter. Slow burn tension, secret betrayal, and careful trust building. Haunted beauty, the macabre elegance of necromantic cities, dying forests, and the ruined shrines. And defiant hope. Moments of genuine humanity in a bleak world. Part of the touchstones, which are important to me, are Witcher 3 for its political intrigue and its moral choices. I think the biggest inspiration for me on this campaign was Children of Men, which for those who haven't seen it, it's basically about a a world where people can't reproduce anymore. The youngest person in the world's like 18, and somebody gets pregnant, and they have to escort her to safety because people will try to exploit it or learn from it. So, which was a big inspiration with Lysa and trying to bring her across as a divine spark. Last of Us, just for its found family, emotional survival. Dark Souls is very important because the combat in this is really hardcore. And Dishonored, which is like oppressive regimes, propaganda, and unique technology, which all exist in this world.
So for heritage and classes, in the Hollow Cycle, divine magic is gone, and arcane magic is outlawed under the Hollow Court's rule. This shapes the role and rarity of many character options, such as our seraphs, which I'll let you explain as the GM how you did this.
Rare beyond measure. Any seraph in this campaign should be reflavored to reflect the absence of the true divine magic. One example in play is a divine wielder, a seraph reimagined as an Illrigger-like figure, and even that I had to reflavor for the D&D campaign, as there's not even really devils at this point too. So in this campaign, the Hollow Court learned how to twist, we call them writs and laws, to form and perform divine-like abilities, even though it's not like divine at all.
More like dark powers.
An escapee from the Hollow Court who wields a twisted form of divine power through writs and laws. These edicts bend sacred words into something profane, granting limited divine-like effects. Such characters should carry the weight of the rarity and the danger it attracts.
So your highly magical classes, I'm thinking Daggerheart, like your sorcerers, maybe a true natural wizard. So characters with overt magical power are sought after, hunted, or both. Players should consider how their character hides, disguises, or flaunts their abilities. Magical classes may require subterfuge, or alliances to survive. You can't just go out blasting everybody because the Hollow Court is looking to destroy you.
Inventions and guns, which plays a very big part in this world, especially since divine magic is gone. The world within the last 7 years have tried finding different ways of defending itself, stuff like that. So the invention of guns is pretty new. So we'll go over more of that later, the rule set for that. But firearm and mechanical inventions are emerging technologies in this setting. Rare but growing in influence. Reflavoring is encouraged. For example, our alchemist, which is played by Fizla, is portrayed as a knowledge wizard, with their magic represented by volatile chemistry and experimental engineering.
And we'll definitely go in detail.
So if she uses that in the world, she wouldn't be the same as if a wizard casted it, because hers is different.
I'm flavoring it like I'm throwing vials of alchemy that blows up, fire vials, or acid vials, stuff like that.
I'm gonna go player prompts and custom mechanic, or player prompts, I guess.
So the player prompts are: how has the Bana magic shaped your life? If you possess magic, how do you avoid the Hollow Court's notice? What does your heritage mean in a world where divine magic has vanished? If you wield invention or firearms, where did you acquire them, and what risks did you take to keep them? I think those are pretty right-on prompts for the way the world feels in the Hollow Cycle.
So the custom mechanics that I'm adding for this campaign is a world of attrition, scars, and hard choices. These mechanics are designed to reinforce the campaign's theme of survival, sacrifice, and lasting consequences. So scarring and lasting wounds. Whenever a PC drops to 0, or its Daggerheart equivalent, and chooses to unconscious, then rolling... When deciding to go unconscious, when rolling a scar, they add +1 to their scar roll. So 1d12 must roll a +1 or higher to avoid getting a scar. So in normal Daggerheart, you have to roll your level or under. This one, you have to roll your level or under +1. So if you're level 3, if you roll a 4 or under, you get a scar.
Okay. Definitely makes
I worded
it more...
that terribly.
It's okay. I understood you.
Players may choose the flavor of the scar, but the GM has the final say. Healing magic cannot remove scars. Only long-term narrative healing or downtime milestones can reduce their penalty.
So there's dwindling supplies, rations, and light sources during overland and dungeon travel. Running out imposes penalties. If you have no food, and food is scarce in this world, you gain 1 incurable stress without eating per day. 1 incurable stress?
You can cure it by eating.
Oh, okay.
But you can't cure it by an ability that removes stress.
Oh, if I would have just kept reading, my friends.
Yeah.
Regain all incurable stress after getting enough food determined by the GM. And then no light in dark areas. All attacks have disadvantage and risk random encounters.
Without any light sources.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous resting. Short rest always risk an encounter unless it's a fortified location. The DM rolls a 1d12. On a 1, it's an ambush. On a 2, it's a regular encounter. On a 3, the rest is horrible. Mark a stress. 4 to 11, nothing happens. 12, you had a great rest. You earn 1 hope. On a long rest, only safe in protected towns or sanctuaries. DM rolls a 1d12. On a 1, it's an ambush. 2, regular counter. 3 to 5, rest is horrible. Mark a stress. 6 to 11, nothing happens. 12, it's a great rest.
For your watch, when someone watches one of their downtime activities, they get to roll the 1d12 along with the DM. They can choose to keep the result or swap with the DM. The whole party can be on guard and watch out. This adds +1 to the roll. But on a short rest, you must do a -1 from your rolls on downtime activities. And long rest, you must roll a 1d4 +1 for your recoveries instead of getting full rest.
Yeah, so basically one person doesn't have to sacrifice
a whole
one thing.
watch.
Everyone can kind of be somewhat on alert, but you get less of a rest.
Okay.
Then this one's really important, and it really, I think, captures the nature of Daggerheart. The Hollow Court Shadow. This is a pressure mechanic that's constantly going in the campaign. The GM keeps a shadow track, starting at 0. Certain events using visible magic, defeating court forces, or being spotted by patrols increase the shadow track. At 3+, the party starts attracting attention from the court agents. At 6, the court dispatches and specializes bounty hunters or units. The track resets if the party lays low or for a few weeks in a safe location.
And then there's relic corruption in this world too. Relics of the old gods can be tainted by prolonged exposure to Hollow Court magic. Each time a relic is used in proximity to necromancy, roll a 1d6. On a 1, it gains a corruption trait, changing its power or adding dangerous side effects. Cleansing a relic requires a rare and perilous ritual at a surviving shrine.
And then risky maneuvers. Whenever a PC fails a risky maneuver in a way that puts a group at danger or loses a valuable resource, they mark 1 stress. So if you have like a DC check of 25, you might want to think twice about doing it instead of, well, I might as well try it. Because you can actually lose lose stress and stuff as you go.
Yeah, the whole point of this campaign, it is more hardcore. In our D&D 5e version, there's a lot of details on food and survival and stuff like that.
But this one's cut that back a little bit, but adding different ways of doing it.
To have the same type of flavor of that survivability. So I think adding the Hollow Court Shadow pressure mechanic, all that kind of stuff, really still keeps us feeling like we're in the world you created.
Mm-hmm. So, from there, let's go over what we do with classes.
Yes, classes. This is the one thing I was the most worried about because I was playing Fizzla, who is a homebrew custom class in the Hollow Cycle. And so how do I make my Inventor Alchemist into a Daggerheart character, a Daggerheart class? So luckily there was gnomes in Daggerheart, but they didn't have the distinction between rock gnomes and I think it was like different. I was a rock gnome, but that was okay. I still felt like I was able to take enough stuff to give me the same flavor. So stuff that I did, we decided to make her a knowledge wizard because I am a jack of all trades in the D&D campaign, where Fizzla is constantly brewing up stuff, throwing fire bombs, inventing like machines and stuff to do things for the party. So we wanted to have her have that same crafting feel. Like I had almost every tool, I think, in the D&D, which is not a Daggerheart thing. I don't think there's crafting tools and stuff like that. It's just flavor.
Yeah.
So I decided to be the knowledge wizard because it gave me the most, I thought, diversity, the most like options. And I guess, I don't know, should I go through the domain effects that I picked?
Yeah, and then how you reflavored them.
Yes. So for my domain effects, I picked the Book of Tefar, Wild Flame, which here it's like a spell because wizard, but for me, I reflavored it. I decided, because I have Fizzla's Bang Bang Splatty Cuff thing invention, where she shoots out stuff from.
Which basically shout out cantrips in D&D 5e,
Yes.
but we reflavored it
We
to be a lot more
reflavored it.
this.
I reflavored that Wild Flame. I have a... What is it? A...
Flamethrower.
Flamethrower, yes! Flamethrower that comes out of her contraption. So that made it feel like she invented it. So that was really cool. My magic hand is actually a contraption, like with a little helicopter that does a hand. It's not magical. It's a contraption she sends out. It kind of had the same rock gnome feeling. And the mysterious mist, I had smoke grenades as Fizzla. So my mysterious mist, I'm just thinking she's shooting out some smoke grenades from her, or throwing a smoke grenade vial. Be able to create that. So for my next domain, I picked the Book of Iliad. Slumber, I'm feeling like she throws out a vial of sleeping powder that does that. I didn't really have a sleep for Fizzla, but I think it makes sense still.
We didn't have spell casting for our. That's why a lot of people ask, well, why didn't you just use the what's the inventor class technically in D&D?
Oh, what is it? It's the I can't remember.
All right. Well, the reason why we didn't use that one because it's the spellcasting one. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not spellcasting. This we're not really calling it spellcast either. I think I do. We're taking out magical damage in this campaign. It's all physical damage, right?
Correct. Well,
Some
not really.
Okay.
It'll just be flavored differently. It won't be magical, but it could still be like fire damage, and I would still count that. But
so the arcane barrage, instead of like these magic missile type things flying at people, that's going to be my acid vials, where she's just shooting out acid from her Fizzla Bang Bang Splat Cuff. So, and then the telepathy was the one thing I had to think of. So I made it that she developed the contraption that she can shoot to her ally that connects and the little horn comes out and we can talk to each other. Kind of
almost like phone connectivity.
Yeah, almost like phone, like your phone thing. So that's how I'm flavoring telepathy. I also picked the Book of Ava. Power push. I'm going to make it that she has a mallet that comes out, almost like your cartoon type thing. A mallet comes out and basically punches and pushes the adversary away. So it's an invention, not magic. Your Tava's armor. The one thing I had in the 5e campaign was something called jury rigged. That was part of the custom, and where I could spend up to 3, I think, per rest of fixing people's armor and stuff like that. So this almost has that same feel and flavor with Tava's armor, where I can spend that hope and fix people up. Then Ice Spike is just going to be my Frostbolt that it was in D&D, but coming out of my cuff of frost coming out, which I think would be kind of cool because it's kind of like almost like, what is it? Where it's so cold,
like
it just
liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, like liquid nitrogen type combustible. I had a ability that Jay gave me, which healed my party. So I thought it was smart to take Healing Hands, where I can kind of have that same where I do a cloud of like a potion, like a vial, like I throw on the ground and it bursts into a healing cloud. So that's going to be that for Healing Hands. So that's basically all like making the wizard spells into inventor stuff that I did for Fizzla. I think for my rock gnome, the wizard having the prestidigitation ability kind of flavors her, all her little inventions.
Plus, you love saying that word.
I hate that word. For anybody who's watched previous videos, it is a word I will never say correctly. And I try to say it so fast that nobody realizes how wrong I'm saying it. But it gave me the feel of the rock gnome still, because I can act like I'm creating a little gadget that snuffs out a candle or something like that and not make it like magical. Strange patterns kind of, I think it's more my, maybe one
Eureka
of
moment.
my Eureka moment. I had an ability in our custom character build where I can do Eureka, and I got like advantage, or no, I got an automatic crit success or something on an intelligence check. So now I feel like now I can, in my strange patterns, I can pick a die that kind of flavors it that way, where I have a Eureka moment. Let's see. Things that I picked for my subclass. Okay, the knowledge had the prepared, you take an additional domain card, which gave me all those spells to make into my inventions. That's why we really went with knowledge. And then when I utilize an experience, you can mark a stress instead of spending a hope. If you do, double your experience modifier for that roll. More Eureka moments for her. Eureka! She does a stress instead. So I did a mixed ancestry with her. I gave her the nimble fingers. Even though I'm not a big finesse character, you can spend 2 hope to reroll your hope die. But Fizzla was our rogue type character in our D&D campaign. I was the one who picked the locks, and I'm the one who pickpocket. I like to pickpocket and stuff. So I felt like nimble fingers fit her character. And so when I did up to level 2, I made sure I used one of my level things to get my finesse up to +2 and my knowledge to +3. And then I picked Fire Shot.
Your finesse is +2, yeah, so it's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
But that's why I made her more finesse.
Right.
Because Fizzla had a lot of finesse. She had no presence in my D&D campaign, a version of Fizzla. So that's why she's -1 presence. And her agility, I felt like she was more leaps, because she has her boots, her steam powered boots that makes her leap and stuff. So I just thought she would have more agility than strength. But the Fire Shot is when you can unleash a projectile of fire towards a target. And so Fizzla that's kind of like her like Fire Shot from her contraption. But there's some mixed things of how she survived the Hollow Court. And in the story so far, there is a phoenix involved. So I felt like she has some of that phoenix in her that made her survive the collapse of her home on top of her, and that survived her. So I felt like it was okay taking that mixed ancestry, because I think that's the Firebolg ancestry. Furbolg, yeah. Ancestry or something. So her mix with gnome and that kind of still fit my story.
Is that came from? I thought it came from Firekin, but okay.
I'm not exactly sure which race it came from.
I don't know
have
either.
to look at it again. Of course, Duneborn I picked for my community because I felt like I really care about my people and my people around me. So I felt like that along came with her healing hands of her helping clear stress and stuff. And she does all her jury rigging and fixing armor, and she's a jack of all trades. So that seemed to fit for the community.
Yeah, and some of her inventions we were putting like in experiences, like her steam powered rocket boots, which gives her +2 if she spends the turn them on, the hope to turn them on to give to go faster or jump higher. So we're gonna encourage inventions, and we're going to find ways around them, making downtime activities, everything like that. Or I
can craft some neat stuff for my party.
We're gonna add in because she's an alchemist, that she doesn't have to use a downtime action during a long rest to make one healing potion. So we're gonna reflavor some things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which
is kind of neat, and I feel like it still embodies Fizzla, and I was happy with the outcome with it.
So the next class, we won't go over nearly as much detail since they're
because
not here to
Fizzla's
explain
my
them.
character.
Sin Shadowmend, he was our Illrigger. Like I said, we did rewrite the entire flavor of the class for the current campaign. Well, in this, he's a Seraph, even though he's not a Seraph at all.
The thing about Sin in the Hollow Cycle, his character is a medic. Was
Yeah.
he was big on healing. He was basically saving our ass through a lot of the battles that we were doing. So he stressed to Jay that he still wanted to have that flavor of being a medic, along with the Illrigger turning.
And I forget exactly what kind of Illrigger. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that like put like shields up and protections, everything
runes
like that.
And stuff, yeah.
So in this one, he is Mending Touch, which is gonna be kind of like his healing kits, stuff like that. Reassurance, which nothing to do with it. Healing Hands, that would be like him twisting wrists to heal. Bold Presence. Again, that's just part of his class. So Seraph Hope, we could declare a hit point on an ally within close range. Again, that would be him twisting wrists. Prayer Dice will be his shields.
Yes.
So
like runes.
When he mines is at 1d4, would be like him putting like one of those runes up as like a shield protection. The Spirit Weapon, again. So a lot of this is just flavored. So it's the same stuff as Seraph could do, but it'll be flavored as like red runes come out and twisting words and stuff. It won't be divine light comes from his hand. There'll be nothing like that. Probably the easiest to convert was our ranger.
Elias, yes, because he was a ranger, and the ranger class seemed very fitting.
The only difference is
he doesn't have concentration checks.
Yeah,
which, if anybody knows Keen with an Elias in the Hollow Court, he hated those concentration checks.
The big difference in this one is he was a hunter ranger. In this one, he is a beastbound. So we did get him an animal, which we're going to come up with a cool story for that. And but yeah, I don't think I really need to go over. It's a ranger. He's becoming more of a melee though than range.
Which he was playing it that way, kind of also in our previous episodes.
Karnak's a big one.
Yes, because he was
So Karnak was a gunslinger, but I had 3 gunslinger subclasses. One a sniper, one like your traditional
cowboy.
Boom, boom, boom cowboy, and one was like a tank, like almost like a riot cop with a shield and a gun. So in this, he's a guardian. We made up a hand cannon, so we reflavored it. Whereas a tower shield, armor, so he's pretty much the same thing. He's a tank with a gun, but we do have some rules for guns, which I will bring up. My gunslinger class that I wrote, just so I can give you kind of the rules of the guns, which do apply to him as well, not just the other gunslingers. So I should have had this up beforehand. Google Sheets.
I think the probably the hardest thing was Jay you had those fire bursts where max roll you got to shoot again and shoot again type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you incorporate that with the ammo.
Dice.
The exploding dice. Yes, we had exploding dice. We didn't do it with the healing only because you don't get very many hit points in Daggerheart.
Well, and D&D healing's just so...
yes.
We had no holy magic, so...
And no armor or stuff like that. Like
so we had to make healing a little bit more potent in that campaign. So in this one, it's a little bit different. So, my gunslinger... they have a hope feature, which he will not have, that you can put 2 tokens on your firearm. And the only reason I'm saying this, because eventually through invention, working with either Fizzla or getting just better guns, he can get these tokens for his gun that would give him some shields against the stress. Because in this, you have unstable gunpowder. When you roll a maximum value on your firearm die, you roll it again and add the total and repeat this if you roll max again. So you can just keep doing it. The big thing, though, is if you roll a failure with fear, your gun jams, and you need to spend a stress to unjam it. So then that's where those tokens are going to come in, but he won't get the well-maintained thing because that would be a gunslinger class thing, but through Fizzla and the likes. But a little preview while I'm here, I guess. My subclasses for this will be Gambler, which will be all about gambling, your rolls, and then a Sharpshooter. So if I would like to bring this into like a trial and just test it a little bit before I publish it or anything, but you know. But I think that
Also,
about covers it.
I did want to mention something that Jay did with us, which I recommend if you are converting your campaign into a totally different system. What we did, we all joined together one night for a session, but it was not to play the campaign. It was to try out our characters to make sure we liked the flavor of them. Did it feel like? And we played for probably about 4 hours, which Jay did some custom or some homebrew battles, custom battles. Like, it was nothing to do with the Hollow Court.
If you guys are curious what kind I did a minion battle, and I did a ritual battle, which shows off the countdown mechanic too. There was a ritual that they had to roll with a lower hope die than a fear die, unless they completed this ritual, which was a countdown, along with fighting the cultists. So it gives a big variety, I think, of...
And he had like a boss battle. So I think it's very important for your GM and your party to have just that one night of playing around with your character during a battle to make sure you're still having that same flavor and feel, because you're converting your character. Whether if you were 20 episodes in your campaign or 2 episodes, or like us, we were only 8 episodes in our campaign, it was important to us for our characters to still feel like our characters. And I do have to say, all our characters, we had a blast that night. And all of us said, all our characters, yeah, there was some different stuff, but we still had that same flavor. And we were having a lot of fun with them and with the Daggerheart system. So I'm looking really forward to tomorrow, episode 9, being our first Daggerheart Holocycle.
Yeah, and I would also just like to throw in, don't be afraid to reflavor things, even if it just seems really far-fetched.
I went far-fetched with Fizzla.
Yeah, and you can homebrew some stuff, like... with like Fizzla, I might give her an extra spell slot thing, where you can have a inventory because, she's supposed to have all these different things. But at the same time, you have to think of something to kind of pull back on too, because you don't want to just like throw a bunch of stuff.
All the good stuff and none of the negative.
And none of the bad stuff. So you just have to work with your players and find, okay, like, can I do this? Sure, but I would have to do this. Is that a fair balance too? And you can discuss. Just be open with your players.
The great thing about Daggerheart, you guys, is since it's not a strict set of rules like Pathfinder and D&D, it's more flavor first, and I love that because it's probably one of the easiest ones to switch over from one TTRPG to Daggerheart.
Yeah, because
you're able to flavor it and still have that kind of feel.
Like, I feel like if we switched our campaign to Pathfinder, for example, you can get like roughly the same feel, but the game just it'd be a lot harder, I think, than this one, where you can just kind of take whatever class you want and just reflavor it and kind of make it look the way you want. And as long as you and your party believe in the rule of it, as long as it makes sense, because like Fizzla's thing where she's going to do that force push, technically it's supposed to be magic damage, but she has it phrased where it hits with like a mullet, so it'll probably be physical damage. So as long as you play with the rule where it makes sense.
And also, what's most important about playing these TTRPGs is having fun. If your party is having fun and you were able to switch from one way to another for whatever reason that you wanted to switch to the Daggerheart, it can be done. You don't have to finish one campaign if all your team or all your friends or your players are wanting to try out Daggerheart.
Now, obviously, the further you are, the little bit harder it'll be. But I'm sure you can do it. And just remember that levels don't convert 1 for 1. In Daggerheart, you're a lot more powerful at lower level. Like, our characters were 3. I put them at 2, which might even be a little high. I'd probably almost say, let's bring out a little calculator here. 20 levels divided by... trying to see how much... What would it be? 3 levels.
Well, you have to remember, Daggerheart ends at 10, right?
Right, that's what I'm...
And our campaign was set for a 20-level campaign. The Hollow Cycle was being a long campaign. So Jay did warn us it's going to be a long time before y'all level again, which is okay. We're going to be having fun learning
Yeah, because technically
our new
they
flavored
probably
characters.
should have been 1 at level 3 still. But we wanted to give them a little bit of extra power. But it'll be a long time before they level. But the cool thing about Daggerheart, though, is at low levels, you don't feel weak. Like at level 1, you feel so bad in D&D. But I hope you all enjoyed.
Yes, knowing that you can convert
your campaign. Been a little longer than we were hoping, but
okay.
I'll put them or chapters.
Yeah, chapters on our Hollow Cycle versus our character creations. So hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys check out the Hollow Cycle. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and comment. It goes a long way. We would love to hear what you guys think about converting a campaign. Definitely from you other dungeon masters and from other players.
Yeah, and if you guys have done it, let me know. If you guys have any questions and you're doing it, let us know it. Maybe we can all learn together.
Yeah.
Love you all. You guys are the best. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.